family, and strangers. Believe it or not, we actually have a road trip today, and I sucked all the light out of this room. There's just a couple doings and don'tings that you and I have decided to get into today. And if you're really good and you behave, play your cards right, who knows? Something cool might happen. So please, gather your things and let's do it. You're a loser. First things first, however, time to take our vitamins along with our delicious breakfast. Bon appetit. Well, before we leave, I thought maybe I would convert from my normal granny bag over to my brand new van life hiking bag. Let's see what we got. I scratched the shit out of my ear the other night and managed to cut it, and it's been scabbing and crusting ever since. Heartburn medicines, handkerchief, Illinois license plate, Connecticut, a little bit of reason to pull over and piss on the side of the road, a little Pepsi Zero, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, Sprite plus tea, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Tripod, double stamp, Thrills and Chills, Scary Movie wallet, Indiana, Ohio. We have my delicious new glasses case, earbuds, because you got to have earbuds when you're driving around. The world's best phone holder, and a bottle of water. I'll tell you what, since my new bag is green and kind of army-esque, I'm gonna call this bag MASH. I don't know if I've ever showed you this before while we're at it, but look. Look at Batman. But it gets better. Batman also opens like this. This is a beautiful dual-sided pocket knife with 2 body locks, designed to look like Batman. And it also has a grandpa clip. I wish I had invested in a proper hiking bag years ago, because I've done plenty of hiking wearing a damn school backpack. Now, damn near 40 years old, finally got legit. Bitch. Well, it is not very often that I find someone on the roadway that actually drives slower than me. You see, on this bright, beautiful, rain-free, sunny day, with all the deer that jet across the road, I would cruise about 50. And at night, 45 out here. But I'm actually behind this car going 40 right now, just because I don't really like to pass people. I'm not in a hurry, and overall it's a little bit dangerous to pass. You got to be like a farm tractor for me to pass you, or a mail truck or something. So yeah, this person who always drives slow, I'm guessing, is probably like me and experiences constant tailgating and is probably blown away that I am not right up on their ass, but actually willing to drive just as grandpa-esque as they are. Well, we do find ourselves accidentally at Samuel Gross Memorial Woods State Nature Preserve in some town in Ohio. I just looked at it 4 seconds ago and forgot already. Jackson Center, Ohio. Nothing coming or going for millennia. This reserve is open a half an hour before sunrise and a half an hour after sunset. Pets and bicycles are prohibited. Let's go ahead and take a quick look through the woods. What's the worst that could happen? I don't see hide nor hair of anybody who's in the other two vehicles that are parked out there. And look, already at a crossroads. All right, we shall explore the rest of this park on a different day. We have somewhat of a loose agenda to keep. Whoa. I don't know if the camera picked that up, but right by my foot, a little lizard-looking thing just scurried by. Whoa. Scared me because I didn't know where that sound was coming from at first. Whoa. There is the roadway. We did not venture far from it. This is perfect. If you want a spot to do absolutely nothing in your van while van lifing it up, and you want to sit somewhere and be a fat lazy bum reading a book, pulling over right here would be absolutely perfect. Look what we have found here. A wide open field that appears to be attached to the Circle K / Subway over my shoulder, as you can see. I didn't see any signs saying stay the F off, so I think it's for visitors. We'll find out, I guess. It's a little horty. There's a rug in there in the carriage. And what do we have here? Other than this creepy low-hanging electrical wire designed to clothesline you to smithereens. We have the wedding gazebo. But anyways, for a second I thought that was a dog right there getting a drink, till I realized it's yet another statue. There's a deer, Another deer, some kind of flamingo thing out there. There's a statue of a cacti. That's enough dicking off for one stop, eh? Rapidly approaching Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I just saw a sign that said, "When flooded, turn around, don't drown." I've also seen several signs that says holding any kind of mobile device while driving is illegal, so I'll get back to you. Well, if you couldn't guess already, we are in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we are looking for the gravestone of the one and only Johnny Appleseed. But first, let's check out this cool bridge tunnel configuration. I actually came to Fort Wayne today to look at a couple different campgrounds to see if I want to return on extended weekends and do some camping. But while we're here, why not check out a pretty cool historical site, the Johnny Appleseed Park and Grave Marker. And I will tell you something else about his grave that is heavily sunk in lore. According to the GPS, we are about a 10-minute walk away from the man himself, John Chapman. Look at this cool river here. A very still, stagnant, brown river. And look at this tree. I would love to climb it. Get some, what do you call it? Those bolt-in ladder pieces just for tree ascending. Anyway, Mr. Seed was born before America was even an independent country, should I say the USA. However, by the time he was all grown up, we were well into our beginning years as a nation. And basically his thing was he wanted to push on, be out ahead of the westward expansion and gobbling up land, turning them into apple orchards. People just knew him as, for that reason, Johnny Appleseed. His apples really were not good for eating, but they were perfect for making cider, which pretty much all the settlers and the expansioners moving out west relied heavily on. Here at this park, there's actually every year in September a full-on festival for the guy. Also, I read that where his actual grave is has kind of been debated. The official response from the town or the state or whoever is where we're about to go. Although some very much so believe if you actually go to where he actually is laid to rest, you'll find that there is an entire apartment building on top of him. And I am betting anything the people who live there are well aware of the legend and probably at times find themselves wondering, am I actually living on and sleeping at night above Johnny Appleseed's body, I decided to double back and go pretty much the same amount of walking distance to the grave, just a different way. And it led me back into this creepy tunnel. The sign proves it all. Johnny Appleseed gravesite with an arrow pointing this way, which is where I should have drove to. However, where I did park is actually pretty cool also. Here's a squirrel. If you couldn't tell, look at him up on the post there. Looks like he's getting ready to lunge towards me. He's holding his ground. That would suck to have to beat a squirrel to death with a Insta360 action cam on a stick, but hey, I guess there are more expensive weapons out there. I'm actually parked on the other side of this baseball park. I wonder if I can cut through to get my car when I come back around. Most likely I can. And over that way is some coliseum. I'm not sure what this coliseum is here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but I keep seeing signs that say this way for coliseum parking, etc., etc. All right, Johnny Appleseed's literal grave appears to be right up that hill, surrounded by that fence. Let's go check it out. And I could have definitely parked closer than I did. That's okay. We are doing it. We are walking the hill. Let's read this sign real quick next to this bike. Johnny Appleseed, who died in 1845. Johnny Appleseed, legendary planter of orchards across Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, was a real person, despite all the graphic novels we had as a kid in school growing up. He was actually not just a character in a book, he was a real hombre. He was a friend of all God's creatures and a missionary for the Swedenborgian religion, a Christian denomination. Please pause and read. There's the man himself. Looks like my kind of country bumpkin. But we don't just have to read about him. We can go literally visit the man right here in what appears to be kind of a creepy grave marker. And apparently you can walk right in, right up to the site. Here it is, folks. John Chapman, lovingly known as Johnny A. Appleseed. Wow. A true celebrity. And I hate to say it, but kind of a forgotten historical figure. It says, Johnny Appleseed, John Chapman, he lived for others. And there's an engraving of the Holy Bible and an engraving of an apple. And here is where most believe the man himself is laid to rest. Not many people can say they've taken a selfie with Johnny Appleseed. I changed my mind about doubling back to my car through that park. Seems like a park, private restaurant, hybrid type property. So, because I am painfully polite, I'm gonna walk all the way back around. Decided to cut through this lot to avoid geese-mageddon. Look at all of them. They're right on the sidewalk there, so I've been in situations before involving pissed off geese. So I thought I would pick my battles wisely out here today. I'll tell you what, while we still have a little bit of daylight left, let's pop in to the AMC movie theater and check out a little movie called Backrooms. We are now snugly back in Ohio. And before I forget to do so, let me tell you how the movie Backrooms was. Backrooms was pretty cool, and I'm not surprised. The trailer was so cool looking that I wouldn't watch the whole thing. If a trailer makes the movie look really awesome, then I normally stop it after 30-40 seconds so I don't spoil anything more from the movie if I've already decided to watch it, which a good trailer can do within 30 or 40 seconds. Or rather, a good film will have cool stuff being shown in the trailer. But anyway, and Backrooms is actually the first movie that got me back in theaters since the movie The Fall. And that's because of a couple different reasons. I used to go to the movie theater like every 2 weeks on average, probably, to see something that I knew would look cool on the big screen. And The Fall did look cool, and it was a cool movie-ish. But the movie theater that I normally go to went at the time was just an absolute joke, madhouse, these idiots running around, the entire movie yelling, wouldn't sit in their seat. And, you know, if you're coming in and out of the showroom, that's one thing. But if you're yelling for other people in there and having full conversations with other idiots while everyone else is trying to watch the movie, that's a different thing altogether. And that's not the reason I quit going. The reason I quit going, despite all of that, plus the guy walking in front of me several times, knocking right into my feet because they had the lounging chairs, etc. Despite all that, the thing that stopped me from going back to that theater, which ended up being the theater in general for a very long time, is the fact that a security guard was in and out of that room as well, seeing all this happen, was sitting right outside the door, hearing all of this and seeing them coming in and out constantly, and chose not to give one single fuck about it. And the only reason I went to see this movie is because it was in a whole ass different theater, and coincidentally in a whole ass different state. But anyways, the movie Backrooms, I give it 5 bags of popcorn and 2 cups of soda. The ending to Backrooms was a little odd, and I think the ending could have been written a scooch better. However, I'm not going to wage that in as an official complaint because the movie overall kicked ass. We made it to a completely free hotel. Walmart even delivers to this hotel. I won't need to stay at this hotel tonight, unfortunately. Look at this crazy low moon tonight. I wish you could see it the way I see it, but the camera's not going to do it well. I do recommend all of you to be like the moon. Not the source of light, but a reflection of light. And where do you shine that light? Into darkness. appreciate you running some errands with me today over the state line. Errands that involve finding campgrounds and other what-nottings and what-havings, all for the purpose of bringing me and you better content in the very near future, which is also why we have stuff like my new hiking bag, which is also why we have stuff like an ever emptying apartment, which is also why we have church things like a bed inside of my van now. I'm getting excited. Had trouble sleeping last night because I'm like antsy, excited, a little bit nervous. But when I was out today, rest stopping it up, parking it up, campgrounding it up, I felt totally calm. It's being in this environment that freaks me out. And yeah, whatever. We'll see. And I also keep telling myself if I have any trouble doing overnights in places in the van, I'm just going to have to suck it up and get used to it until I'm one of those that has done it for so long he doesn't give a rat's cock anymore. And I'm looking forward to that. But anyways, friends, family, and strangers, the time has come for us to pack up this campsite, to piss on this fire, and to head back and tuck in for the night. Once again, please keep something very important in mind. You deserve a place to set boundaries. You deserve a place to express what hurts you, and you deserve a place to truly be yourself. And if there's somebody in your life who doesn't want to give you that place, and maybe that's someone who either doesn't need to be in your life at all, or maybe you just need to pump the brakes, okay? We're not here to fight God's battles, so stop doing it. I'm going to go for now. And yeah, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I'll be back with you. I will. I'm coming back. But until then, don't be a douche.